Hi, everybody. Welcome to my latest live stream. And tonight I've got Mr. Archivist Adrift himself, Jason. Jason, how are you tonight?
Terrific. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
I'm always happy to bring you on. You are a wonderful person to talk to. It's cool because now you join us on the Biggie Shack, the Comic Collectors Club on Friday night. So I have another chance to see even more of the books that you've gotten at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see it. I've got a couple of quick announcements to make. One is big, one is not so big. The big announcement is that the Sunday Superman show is no longer going to be on. The Sunday Superman show is being replaced starting March 8th with the Sunday Superhero show, where we have more of a we can have more different subjects come on with different superheroes. Like someone could come on with the Fantastic Four, someone could come on with the Punisher, although I don't know if he's a superhero or not. But just to give an example, I'm of course going to show Superman, but that's just me. So there will still be Superman content, but I have decided to change it to the Superhero show so that we can have a lot more different guests on with a lot more different books.
That's great.
Now, what was the second announcement? Oh, yes. The prizes that I haven't sent yet will be sent out Saturday. I cannot find time to get out of my house to do it until then. So they will go out on Saturday. So I've heard that the one I sent to the United Kingdom got there in one piece. So I was very pleased for that. And of course, our winner of the gift card got the gift card already. I apologize to my American fans. It's taken me a while to learn what to do. And then because there's a lot of paperwork, which I hear you guys are used to. You usually do when you're sending abroad. We didn't have to before.
Yeah.
So, other than that, everybody, I hope is having a wonderful day. So, Jason, let's begin by. I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
How much time a week do you get to spend conserving a book?
I try to do conservation every day if I can. So hold on, sorry, the flight's going crazy. I try to do some conservation, like a little bit of conservation every day if I can. So that means that as soon as I get off of work, around 5 o'clock or whatever, I'm right at it. And then I'll spend like the next 4 hours working on books. But the problem is that a lot of the work that I'm doing is a lot of waiting around for things to dry or soaking things or what have you. So it's not a constant rate of 4 hours steady. But there will be days where I'll go into a zone, where I'll be working on a book, dry erasing or something like that for a good hour or two, something like that.
Well, I would imagine that if you're waiting, for example, something to dry, like from the wet wash or whatever it is you're putting it in, you've got time to work on another book.
I do actually. I sometimes do that. The last couple of projects I've done, I've actually had a couple of things in the wings as well as I'm working on. But I feel like I almost need to keep my full concentration on one book at a time. So I'm kind of a slow. I'm very slow. I'm very kind of like fastidious, I guess. I'm really concentrating on one book as much as I possibly can. I know some other conservators like Captain Larry, for instance. He will work on several books at the same time, and but I don't usually do more than one or two books at a time. So
awesome. Before we get too much further, let's say hi to everybody who decided to join us tonight. Yeah. I'm very proud. I'm very happy that they have. We've got look who was first at 3:01 p.m. Kay Munin.
Of course, yep.
He also brings up if you won't show us Sonic or Captain Harlock books, can you at least tell us why he loves the Bleach anime so much? Well, there's your first question. When we're done, maybe we can answer that.
Okay.
Lyle, of course, is here asking for some Ferret Badger and all the likable characters. Well, that's coming up. Rob Sade is here. Good to see you, Rob. Mr. Thomas O'Donnell's here. Hi, Thomas.
Hi there.
The absolutely amazing Robbie Josephs is here.
Hey, Robbie.
And if you guys send me big books, you'll get to be the absolutely amazing person too. I'm teasing everybody. And we got Comic Mike in the house. Comic Mike is beginning to work. If anybody didn't catch his video today, he's finally beginning to build his comic room.
Oh, nice.
We've got Mark from Mark's Issues with Archie Comics. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Rich is here, Big Nasty.
Hey, how you doing?
Jeff is here. Better to be adrift than adrift. I'm sure that's true on many levels. We've got Mike Dennis here. Mike, it's good to see you.
Hi there, Mike.
And we have a cover. Oh, here we go. Here's Nate. Is this live? No, Nate, you're catching the rerun. Jason is always pre-recorded. That's
right.
why he's saying that.
That's right.
And that's everybody at the moment. So the next question that I'm going to ask is, I think the last time we were here, I asked that what had sparked your interest.
Yeah.
So you have gotten into it and you've done it for a bit.
Yeah.
What is it about it that keeps your interest? Restoration.
Yeah. Well, hey, Mike, I'm always learning. So it's never boring. Like today, for instance, or this last project I've been working on, I've been working on mold removal, which I've never done before. And it's hard. It's really hard. And I'm trying to come up with new techniques. I'm reading the literature on it. I'm trying to find other conservators who've, done this kind of stuff, but it's fun. It's like a math problem or well, I hate math, so that's not a good analogy, but it's like, I have to figure it out. I got to, I do testing software professionally. So one of the things I love about my job there is the same thing. I like trying to figure out why did this break? How can I fix it? Kind of thing. But also the other big deal is for me is the realization that these books are not going to last forever. And I think I said it in a recent video. This is comic books are our heritage. Yes. It's American heritage. It's North American heritage. I really love these things, and I want to preserve. I want them to last for another generation or two. I want them, and if I'm not doing that, no one will. And other people will, but I'm helping at least.
Well, see, that always brings back to what I've always believed about comic books. Restoration was so big back when I was a beginning collector in the 80s, and quite simply, the fact that CGC comes along at the end of that, was it in the mid 90s or the end of the 90s? I don't remember. I wasn't.
I want to say late, probably early 2000s. I think CGC.
Yeah. They come along and they say, no, restoration's bad. So all these people who had put literally hundreds of dollars into these books in each individual book, especially, thousands. But I would think even back then in Action Comics 1, we're probably it would have gotten $300 maybe. And we're talking economies of scale, right?
Okay, right.
But I'm looking at another way. It's like, so all these things that were in the Overstreet. And that was the other thing I was trying to remember. Tomorrow, the Overstreet Guide is finally coming out. This year, nice. The newest one. But the Overstreet would say, if you could restore, they had all these ads for places that restored comics. I think that back then, even Metropolis Comics was setting up people with them because they've been around forever, it seems.
Yeah.
But so what is obviously you don't mind restored books yourself.
No, I love restored books. I was even at for a while. I think this is I hear this from a lot of people as well. A lot of people who come around to a restored, they'll be like, I like restored, but I just don't like trimmed books. I've gotten over that as well. Give me your poor, your disheveled, your broken books. I want them all.
There are only two things about a book that irritate me: if a cover is missing or they're trimmed. Everything else I can live with.
Well, I got a book that I had a cover missing, and in fact, right here, it was missing the back cover, and I found a back cover for it. So, even coverless books can be amended. So,
sorry, my apologies. Wrong one. I was trying to. Okay, Robbie has a question for you.
Sure.
Do any books intimidate you, or are they all the same to you?
Oh yeah, a lot of books intimidate me. Doc's got a book he wants me to just do some basic cleanup on because it's got a purple label currently and it's married cover, I believe, and or married inner wrap, something like that. And it's currently sitting at a restored level, but me doing a little bit of just like tear seals or just a little bit of cleaning would bump that up to it would give it a conserved label, which is a blue label with the gray or silver stripe at the top. Modern books scare me. I just got done working on books for Matt at Impress Comics, those G.I. Joe books. And those
Matt is in the chat tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. And hey, Matt, sorry about your books. Modern books, they kind of freak me out a little bit, only because I'm just not as used to them, and they're a little bit more unpredictable for me. Silver Age books are a little freaky, but as I'm learning new techniques, I'm getting over some of these concerns. Like Silver Age is, I wouldn't have touched those before I really understood the gel and gum slab technique, which is an alternative to an aqueous bath, which allows me to clean comics without being too aggressive to them.
Now that's the technique you use to bring them together, right? The papers that I see, that the thing that I sent you a message saying, man, that's so neat.
That's leaf casting, and that is cool. Yeah, no, the gel and gum technique is basically, it's a concoction I make. I put it into a mold, and then it hardens. And so this is an alternative to bathing comic book wraps. Because if you try to bathe like a Silver Age cover, you're going to wipe out most of the ink, or you're going to wipe out quite a bit of the ink, and you don't want that.
Yeah, Silver Age was not strong for that.
No. So what you do with this, you can create this slab that holds the like calcium hydroxide and the betaine and things that you would want to kind of clean the comic, but you're sitting the wrap on the slab itself, which keeps it, which uses less water. You're not bathing it. You're not you're not exposing it to as much moisture, essentially. And because of that, you're not risking as much color lift. And so I didn't know about that. That technique is become more and more popularized thanks to people like Professor Peter Alachi and whatnot. And I've been incorporating that into my work as far as like more sensitive covers. So.
Very cool. Silver Age, by the way, is why I think that Silly Putty was able to get you could put it on the newsprint.
Yeah.
Because Silly Putty worked like great on those kinds of comics.
That's true.
Jeff Jack had a question for you. He wanted to go. He asked, how does CGC or other graders know if a cover and book have been married? Well, usually they're wearing little rings, right?
What's that? Oh yeah, that's right.
Usually they're wearing little rings.
This wouldn't be a Matt show without a dad joke. There's a number of ways. Sometimes they can't. That's the simple truth. But the easy tells are when staple holes don't quite line up, for instance, or the cut of the page doesn't line up. Especially these older books like Golden Age and even Silver Age, they would miscut wraps, and so the wrap that you're marrying or the cover sometimes doesn't quite line up with the rest of the pages. So those are the ways that they normally tell. And also the color of the page color itself. So if you have a cream page, married to a off-white book, you're going to definitely tell.
Well, it's certainly quite noticeable, especially in the Charlton books, because the Charlton had such bad paper quality, and you find a better copy that you steal something from. That's obvious right off the bat.
Yeah.
So the next thing, for those that are interested in getting into, what kind of equipment and how much of an outlay would it be initially, you think, if they wanted to get into this sort of thing?
Well, the thing is, you're generally starting fairly slow. So when you at least I did. I didn't necessarily jump full 2 feet in with everything. I wasn't leaf casting on day one, So the materials to do something like an aqueous bath, I don't know, like $10, you need a tub, you need clean water. You need a little bit of dish soap or some sort of surfactant.
And
Boom.
they recommend the desalinated water for that, eh? Right?
They used to, but not anymore because it strips out too many minerals in the paper now. So I just if you live out in the country and you have like kind of hard water, that's actually not too hard, obviously, but like that's actually fairly good because it acts as a kind of an antacid sort of. But I just use filtered tap water, and that's fine. But then now I'm getting more into like the chemistry of things like gel and slabs and mold removal and all that stuff, and the chemicals get really hard to find. So like the gel and gum, for instance, it's a powder. And it's hard to find. It's not readily available necessarily. You have to have the right type of gel and gum. It's got to be a low alkaline, not high alkaline, and that gets harder to find. And so you're looking at it gets exponentially more expensive. Also, things that are like conservative based, like we use like Polytex, which is the material that I use to like suspend the wraps in place when I'm bathing them and all that. That stuff's not cheap, and you have to get it from like places like Talus, and there are museum quality conservation paper making kind of places online,
right.
And we get a lot of materials from those places, and those can be pretty expensive. So it can get up into the hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, whatever you're doing, pretty quick. My press, that wasn't cheap. It was hard to find.
Is your press like a regular comic press that I would use to just press my books?
So I have a couple of different presses. So my hot press is a comic book press, and that's cheap to find, yes. But I have a old copy press that was really hard to find, and it's super heavy. And they often go for they used to. People were like trying to get rid of them before, but now that there's kind of a demand for them, maybe to do with comic books, perhaps, I don't know. But now they're, you're looking at $200 for one, if you can find one. I think I was able to grab mine for about, I think, $100, and I had to travel to Michigan for it, which was quite a ways for me. So
yeah, Michigan is quite a ways for me too. It's
that's right.
I mean, I go down to one road and it's literally down the road, but it's 7 hours down the road.
Right.
Okay. So Jason came in and asked, which comics are you most nervous about doing conservation work on?
Yeah. Those would be Sonic the Hedgehog books, Captain Harlock books. Now, I'm most nervous about doing other people's books because I don't want to mess them up. I want to make sure that I put my best foot forward and that everything is, but the people I've been working with so far, especially the other YouTubers, they've been super understanding, and they know what I can and cannot handle. So I've been really thankful working with them. And that's the stuff. And of course, expensive books in general, you don't want to.
Yeah.
The era, Silver Age, still, I feel now that I've gotten kind of my feel. Now I've been working. Well, those G.I. Joe books helped me kind of understand the limitations of Copper Age, and I feel a little bit more confident with those now. But Silver Age is still the great unknown, especially because there, depends on the publisher you're working with.
Yeah, I would imagine. Now, which brings me to my question. Mm-hmm. I have watched both Mike Chonko's video and your video highlighting the book you did for Chonko.
Yeah.
Is there so my question is, what did you have to learn that might have been different for Chonko's book? For example, it was Brazilian and they have different paper.
Yeah, the paper was really different. It's actually had the consistency of like a paperback novel more than it did like a comic book paper. So that was weird. And and then it had a stamp in the middle of the book, like a big promotional stamp in the middle of it. And I didn't know how that. I didn't know how that was going to react, and it actually kind of got squirrely on me. It actually bled through the cover a little bit, so that freaked me out a little bit. And then, I wasn't sure about it was black. It's black and white on the interior, so I was a little bit more confident with that because I wasn't too worried about the colors running with that. But I still didn't really know how it was going to react. So I did the gel and slab technique on that book because I wasn't sure about what it was going to do. But once I realized that the colors were pretty hardy on the cover, I was a little bit, I got a little bit bolder as I went along. So when I started doing a little bit of leaf casting to the staple holes, I felt more confident about letting the book down and, you know, maybe not doing a full bath, but at least, you know, not too worried about anything else. So.
Very cool. We have a question from Lau.
Oh yeah. Go.
Excuse me. Have you ever messed up at someone's book?
Yeah, I just messed up Matt's books. So he sent me a couple of G.I. Joe #1s. Granted, he didn't pay a whole lot for them, and he let me know that before I started on them. The one was a direct copy, one and the other wasn't. The direct copy had some heavy water staining on it, and I did the gel and gum slab technique on it instead of doing a full aqueous bath on it, and it held the colors really well, so there was no issues there, but it wasn't removing the stain at all, or very, very little. So I started doing blue light treatment. Oh, thank you, Matt. So I started doing blue light treatment on it, and blue light treatment, and I was using blue light treatment with hydrogen peroxide. And the first couple of hours that I was going like I would treat it for about an hour and then check it, see if it was good. It looked good, keep on going. And the stain was getting smaller and smaller. And at the 2-hour mark, the stain was very light. The colors were still really vibrant, like brand new vibrant. There was no issue at all. And I was like, man, I can just push this a little bit more. And, you know, if I see any color kind of shift or anything like that, I'll pull it out, you know. Well, that didn't work. It was almost like there was almost like a switch where it was just like vibrant, boom, transparent or semi-transparent. It wasn't really that the colors faded, although there was a little bit of fading. It was more that the actual back, the inside of the front cover, you can actually start to see it through the front cover, and then when it was beginning to dry, or when I lifted it up, it creased a little bit and then left a couple of really big gouges in it as well. So yeah, that hurt to see. I was like, dang it, man, this sucks. The second book wasn't as bad, although I believe that I think the overhang on the cover is a little bit. When I wet the cover down, I think the cover expanded a little bit, and yeah, I'm a little hard on myself. I know, I know I gotta kind of relax about all that, but it's just like, you know, it's other people's books, and I just want to do everything right, you know, and that's not going to happen. You're going to make mistakes.
No, you're going to make mistakes, and I believe. Sorry, and before the show, we were talking about that, and I said I wouldn't worry about it. You'll probably get a better reputation if you have a mistake or two and admit it, than when you're just like that. Because people who make mistakes tend to learn from them when it's this important.
Yeah, that's,
you know, like sure. You're like, okay, I screwed it up this way. I'm never going to do that again. And then your next mistake will be something completely different. So
yeah, that's right. I've talked to other conservators as well who do this professionally, and they were like, look, you know, this is going to happen. Actually, I talked to Kenny Sanderson, who, in my opinion, is the greatest of the great conservators. He actually contacted me last night and was like, you know, I saw that you had an issue with color coming off of a book. And I don't think he was talking about Matt's book. I think he was talking about a book, Another World, that Chonko gave to me as a kind of a really generous gift for the Tomb of Terror that I did for him. And he saw that the color lifted almost right away, and he was like, you know, he wanted to call me, but anyways, he was like, you know, that kind of thing happens, and you just got to slow down and, you know, just look at what you're doing. And speaking of which, so the story behind that is, I did a second book along with the Brazilian book for Mike. I did a Tomb of Terror book, and as you should watch the video that Mike made. It was really real fun video where I kind of like did kind of a box within a box kind of thing, And anyways, he sent me a really cool pre-code horror book called Another World, and I did what I normally do with Golden Age books. I put it into an aqueous bath for. It was only in there for about 20 seconds, and the color just started lifting, like just dissolving on me, and I was like, "No, what's going on here?" Freaked me out, and part of me was just like, just throw it away. I don't want to even see it. I don't even look at it. But after talking to I talked to Jerry the Jitterbug, and he's like, you should do a full restoration to that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. So that's going to be a new project where I've never done a full restoration before, intentionally at least, where I think I'm going to repaint the cover.
Very cool.
Bring it back to life again.
Collecting Chaos right now is doing he's on part 9 or something on a project he's been doing, and I've seen a few of them. This type of stuff interests me, but I don't have the dexterity for that kind of thing. I'm the type of guy that I would play with the eraser, and all of a sudden, it's just my fingers. I'm very not so nimble. Yeah. So my last question for you with regards to conservation is, I have been looking around. The one thing that interests me the most that I'd like to be able to do for myself is to put back centerfolds back on the staples. So I have seen 3 or 4 different methods of taking the staples out and then getting them back in. What is your preferred method?
So are we talking about like a book where the page popped out and they like kind of like ripped a little bit right through the staple, or that you could? So if you're
no, if there's been a rip at the area, I wouldn't bother with it. But I'm talking about where it looks like it just came off cleanly, and I'd like to put it back on.
Okay, well, you don't need to get tools for it, but it's helpful to have like tools from Immaculate Comics. They sell like a kind of like a staple tool that you can use to
very cool looking.
Yeah, pry the tool, staple up, and then there's these little, basically this holds the staple down as you're kind of prying up on the staple, so you can get the staple up cleanly, and then kind of put the paper back underneath, and then use your thumb, or you don't want to use like a another tool, maybe something like this spatula here that's got like a Teflon edge on it, so that you don't scratch the staple as you're pushing it right back down.
The other thing I'm worried about with the staples is by pulling them out, I accidentally pop a hole somewhere else, and that was, again, with my fingers being what they are, that's why I was.
Well, as long as you're careful, the risk of that is fairly minimal, depending on how old the book is. If you're working with brittle pages, that's going to happen regardless. But if you're working with
not everything I'm looking at, I wouldn't dare try it with a Golden Age book. Everything I'm looking at is late Silver Age or later. Now has a question for you, and then after this, we're going to go to showing books here.
Yeah, okay.
We've got his question is: what is your best fix-up?
I always feel my current book is my best fix-up. So I'm working on I really love what I did with this book, this Blonde Phantom with the cover. I think the cover is really, really clean. But I have another book back there where I leaf cast every single wrap, and that took forever, and that was a pain in the butt. But the current book that I'm working on, where I'm removing mold from it, I'm using something called papain with butane. Papain is basically, as I understand it, it's an extract from papaya, and it acts like
Isn't butane a very dangerous chemical?
Not butane, butane, Betaine.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought you had said butane.
Yeah. Now you can use butane for something else, for stickers and things like that, but I don't usually do that. But papain, the other ingredient I use with that's the papaya extract, and it kind of there's an enzymatic process where it kind of breaks down the mold, like eats the mold up. And I just did a bath where I treated a mold paper, and this is the bath water that came from this.
The
mold and the
but that's good. Anytime you can remove or kill mold, more power to you.
Yeah, so I'm experimenting with that right now, and I'm hoping that it's successful. It's so far so good. It's kind of had a bit of an ammonia smell to it, so that was strange. But I chat GPT'd it and it said it was okay to do that. So
Actually, ammonia smell, believe it or not, like I've seen this in a couple places.
mhm.
I understand that ammonia smell tends to come from houses that had cats, and if you stored your if you had stored your comics in the basement near the litter box, it may have picked up the ammonia smell.
Yeah, it
over
may
the
have.
years.
Yeah, it may have.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's other ways I'm sure it could have happened, but I've
Yeah.
seen that on more than one source. So
Here's
they're saying
the
don't
cover
store
to
them there.
the mold book that I'm working on now. This was, I'm not sure if you can make out any of the mold. Let me turn the light back on here. That might not really be helpful or not, but I'm not sure if you can make out any of the mold that's still on there.
No, I can't see, but to be honest, it's small on my screen.
Yeah. Well,
So-
anyways,
Mhm.
it's coming off. It's slowly but surely, but I'll figure it out one way or the other. So, yeah. And then as far as books that I'm working on currently, well, next after this, I'll be working on a book for at least a couple of books, at least maybe for Johnny of Johnny's Comic Stuff. So he wanted me to work on this Superman.
Oh, now that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's one of the best Superman covers from that era. That's not yellow.
Yeah.
But that must be very difficult to clean at the same time.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty good. So I don't see. I think there might be a little bit of rust on the staples, and of course, when do a full dry clean and all that to it. So I'm gonna look through it. He also
Staple rust is something I try to avoid. If there's 2 copies of a book, I will take a lesser copy if it has no staple rust.
That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Although rust is not that hard to remove, depending on what you use. He sent me this as well, and then a couple other books I think you might like that he sent. He wanted me to try at, but they're square bounds, which I don't really mess with that often. So it'll be kind of another experiment.
Oh, that's another great book.
Wasn't that great?
I love that cover.
Yeah,
it's just the world's finest covers from the 40s to the 60s were just about all of them were great.
Yeah, the
because
idea
that they're in separate stories on the inside, but they combine them on the cover. It's
yeah.
Cool.
The idea of him taking a bolt of lightning, to save these picnickers is it's really cool,
Yeah.
And then he sent me this one to work on as well.
Oh, now that's nice too.
Yeah.
What is that saying? The something kid on the cover there? The
Wyoming kid.
Wyoming kid. Yes, it was hard to see the first letter.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do too much work to these books simply because, I don't.
Square bound is tough.
Square bound's tough, yeah. So
that's always been my fear of getting an older world's finest book. I mean, Stephen has a great world's finest collection from number 1 up, and number 2. I mean, started with number 2 because the world's best was number 1.
Okay.
But just the condition of his books, he's shown him a couple times on the Superman show. The condition of his books for his world's finest are just immaculate. And he goes on about how careful you've got to be with those older spines like that. So
yeah, that's for sure. And it's not something I want to experiment with on, so maybe on a rougher book. So we'll see. If there's something I can handle that won't require me to kind of completely deface the book or something like that, we'll see. So, and then the rest of the books I have here are just things that are recent pickups. They're not necessarily, they may be eventually, limited conservation things that I do, but nothing in the immediate. So, so I recently picked up this really weird Fox Features Syndicate book called The Bouncer.
The Bouncer. Yeah, you've shown that last week. That's a good one.
Yeah, his main superpower is that he bounces. Paul,
and he gets to bounce, unlike Bouncing Boy, who has to inflate like a balloon and to do so.
Paul at McGroovy Comics sent this to me for winning on his wheel.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah, really great pre-code horror.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And then Johnny sent me a few books to just as gratitude for working on that Superman. So he sent me the Stallman. It's Donald Duck. This is a Carl Barks.
Carl Barks is probably the best. I'm sorry. If I had to pick one that's not Matt Baker, Carl Barks is one-handed, like seriously, from the 40s to the 60s, probably over that time. I think I like him even more than Kurt Swan.
Yeah, this is a Carl Barks, and it's great. This isn't a Carl Barks, and I actually even like it better. But he's using a lot of the same Carl Barks style, I think.
Well, which one's earlier?
I believe this one is slightly earlier, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But got a Cats and Jammer Kids book that he sent me.
Ace Comics, very cool.
Yeah. Mid 40s. And then we got.
I always found it interesting that two companies had the rights to them, and one could call them the Cats and Jammer Kids, and the other had to call them the Captain and the Kids. It was just,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Always found that interesting. King Comics is cool too.
So then I got myself, thanks to Mike's influence. I'm sure he's influenced more than myself, but I got myself a Brazilian book.
Yes. Hey, Biggie.
I have another one coming as well, but I'll unveil that soon. And then I went down to Yellow Springs, which is near Dayton, and I picked up a few books at a bookstore there. I got this great Planet Stories pulp.
Something about that cover just appeals to me.
Isn't it? I wonder what it could be.
It's the trumpet because it's Stevie D.
Beautiful color. And then I got this great Dracula from Dell.
Now that Dell Dracula is hilarious because he's a vampire, but not a vampire.
That's right.
Because Dell didn't want to wreck their reputation, right? So they really toned him down, and I found that hilarious.
$8. I mean, this thing is not that expensive to begin with, but I think it's get slept on. Like it's such a cool, quirky book, and you can get it for nothing.
It's one of those quirky characters similar to the Captain Marvel who sends his appendages off his body and
exactly. The same frame of mind here. We got this.
There's the Dell Frankenstein again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The face is green and the rest is not.
That's right.
I guess he's permanently feeling nauseous.
That's right. And then I got this Modern Comics House of Yang #1.
Now that's another great cover. I love when the covers are black and white.
Yeah.
With only a hint of color.
Yeah, just a bare.
They've got the skin color on there, and the hair has a little color.
Yep.
But it's not overwhelming.
That's right.
I really like that type of.
I have another one of these, but I love these Hercules books. So I was conserving a Vietnam era book, and I was really enamored by the artwork. It was by this artist named Sam Glanzman, and he. So I was like, what else does he do? And he created this character Hercules for Charlton, and I just love his work.
Fighting for the right, standing with his might, with the strength of 10 ordinary men, the mighty Hercules. Canadians would know that one. There was a cartoon in the mid 70s to the that was on from the mid 70s to the 90s. That was called the Mighty Hercules, and like it was just on every Saturday. They were an afternoon cartoon as opposed to a morning cartoon. So
that's okay. I wonder if I've ever seen that.
Well, it had a centaur that always repeated himself.
Nate would have loved that. So then we got. I just found this it was cheap, and I picked it up, and I was like, I don't know what this is. Looks weird, and I'm grabbing it. And I looked it up, and it's like a one of one kind of book, But in the same collection was this other book from the same company, Power Comics.
Oh my God, he's saying centaur? Yes, Nate. Yes, Nate, he was a centaur. His name was Newton.
So yeah, these are kind of weird. This Cobalt and Power Comics. I never heard of it before, but I thought they were neat. So
very cool.
And then I have recently acquired this.
That is a great one. It's Alan and Steven both have that too, right?
I believe so. It's
Yeah,
a popular
whenever
Nidor.
they show this, what certainly Alan does is Alan. Whenever they show this book, it's like, oh man, that's so cool. A
Yeah.
woman riding a tiger, like it's the idea.
Yeah, I think
All
her
I can
name is
say is that idea is great.
her name is Princess Pantha, I believe. And
Yes, Princess Panther is one of the ones that was in Alan's books,
okay, yeah,
I
this is a
believe.
Schomburg cover.
Yeah.
And when he was doing airbrushed covers like this, he would go by Zila oftentimes. So yeah, and then I've been really getting into these. Well, I have one Warren magazine, horror magazine, but I feel like these horror magazines are about to, I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but I feel like they're about to pop off or something. I don't know. I get this sense. They are awesome. And so then I got a bunch of Stanley horror magazines that I got. Apparently some of these were warehouse finds. I don't really understand how or why, but because there's usually when there's a warehouse find, it's a lot of one book, but these are mini books and they're all in really great condition. I would say like a 7.0 and up, but so I got they're Stanley horror books. The company's called Stanley Publishing, and it was the same company that did some of the weird pre-code horror books, and they basically not this cover, but some of their other covers like this. It's a popular pre-code horror book.
Oh yes, I've seen this one before.
Yeah, and he reused it. Well, since he owned the cover, he just reused it altogether for his magazines.
Yeah, no, I've seen the cover on the comic and the magazine before. That is actually one that sticks out to me because I always used to think the guy in the back, he's a green guy with purple pants.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, where have I seen that before? I don't know.
It's the original comic is it's one of the weird titles. Like I don't know. It's one of the, not an EC, but it's one of the famous pre-code weird titles. But also the same company did this.
Nice.
They did this.
Another good one, kind of in bondage. Well, I'd say she's in bondage.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's the type of one that I know Alan would really like.
Yeah. Here we have a jar and a head. Yeah, he definitely would like that. These are gory, but they're not as gory as some of the Warren stuff, you know, which I'm not really into like super gory stuff. So this is kind of more my sentiment or more kind of my groove, really.
You know something? Heads in the Jar used to scare the crap out of me, and then I watched Futurama.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Thanks to Futurama, is now that I see them, there's more comedy than horror.
Perfectly normal there, yeah.
Yeah. Especially the Nixon head.
And then I got this really great book. It's a classic book about the Golden Age. And
yes.
Yeah, and it's got some really great like full page covers.
National Comics, nice.
Yeah, and they got just randomly. No.
There is a character that doesn't get his due very much. Uncle Sam.
Oh yeah, you're right.
From a Golden Age perspective, he had some great books. He had a lot of them. He was in USA Comics, and he was had his own title, right? For briefly.
Yeah,
and then National Comics as well. Like,
yep.
No, not USA. It was National. Sorry, it was
that's right. America. Yeah, I think was it Quality? Yeah, I think so.
Quality. It's a Quality. Phantom Lady, him.
Yeah.
Doll Man.
That's right.
Condor Man.
Yep.
Sorry, Black Condor. Condor Man was the movie.
It's the Eisner and Iger group, I believe, created all those characters. So yeah. And then Kenny Sanderson. So I have another book here. I initially worked on. Well, I'll just show you the cover. So this Exciting Comics here.
The Black Terror.
Yeah, and he's beating up on this robot, and I love robot covers. And so the story on this was that I got this off of my comic shop, and it was beat to pieces. It was completely detached, and the cover had there was like another cover holding it all together, like some sort of adhesive paper holding the whole thing together, and it was terrible. It just looked horrible. So I spent like a long while unpeeling the interior adhesive off and bringing up a lot of the graphics along with it that I tried to like put back down. But then it needed leaf casting. It needed considerable leaf casting, and I knew that I couldn't do that myself. So I sent it off to Kenny Sanderson, and he did an amazing job leaf casting it. However, the leaf casting was so extensive on both the cover and the interior that they had to give it a restored grade. So I have future plans for this. I think I'm going to pick up another interior and marry the exterior to that new interior, or that new old interior, and bump this back up to a conserved grade if possible.
That would be cool if you could do that.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have goals and stuff with things like this, because quite simply, if you don't keep pushing yourself, if you don't keep coming up with new things to do, you get stagnant and you may get bored with what you have and walk away for a while. And comics need everybody. It's not comics. I mean, people will think I'm nuts when I say this, but to me, comic books are not just a hobby. They are my lifestyle. They are, I do this channel, I read them. They distract me from the, craziness of the day. Like my kid, my boy, he doesn't like comic books, but he likes the characters at least. He's a big fan of the Scarlet Witch. He was like this when we were watching Doctor Strange too. He's all, wow, is she evil? A little bit in this one, but kind of thing. But that's just. AJ wants to know, what conservation techniques require the most practice?
Oh, that's a great question. Leaf casting is very. It takes a lot of practice to get leaf casting down right, because it's not only the application, and there's multiple ways to apply it, which is basically leaf casting is where you take where there are holes or gaps in a comic book page, and you want to fill those gaps, fill those voids with paper pulp in order to kind of keep the structure of the book so it doesn't fall apart while you're reading it or handling it or anything. And
that would make me nervous, like trying these techniques. If you don't get it right,
it's not easy. The hard part is not just applying it. Like I said, there's multiple ways of applying the pulp to the book, but making the pulp so that it has the right consistency, so it's not too lumpy, so that when it dries, it looks like normal paper, so that it looks like the right color paper. There's a lot going on in that, and that's pretty time consuming, and takes a little bit of. If you ever watch, I've done leaf casting on my channel, but if you ever watch Jerry the Jitterbug, when he applies leaf casting, there's a real art behind it. There's a real technique that goes along with it, and it's not just pure math. So
very cool. Jason, thank you so much for coming tonight. This has been an absolute delight.
My pleasure.
You have shown some great books, and we've got to learn a lot about what you were, what you do. Like, other than, we didn't get the visual part, but if you are smart, you are already subscribed to Jason. If not, you should go subscribe to Jason, because you get to see these techniques on his channel where he gets to talk and he explains them better. He certainly explains them better than I could say. The paper, as I said, to me, it's like, ooh, the squeezy thing that makes paper together, So, I mean, hi, Mike. Sorry, Mike, we're just getting there. If you're not doing anything at 8 o'clock, go over to Halyaz's channel and watch his, get together with all his buddies and stuff. I was on there a couple weeks ago. I don't know who he's got tonight, but go check him out. Halyaz is always a good time.
Yeah.
The six of them leave, the 5 or 6 that ever always end up on there leave me in stitches, and usually quite broke after the FOMO cut.
Right.
So, as I said at the beginning of the program, the Sunday Superman show will be returning on March 8th, retagged as the Sunday Superhero Show.
Yeah.
On that first show, so far I have Brian LCS coming on. He's going to bring some Spider-Man books for us.
Oh, cool.
And of course myself, and there may be 1 or 2 more guests to announce. as that comes. We're hoping to kick it off with a bang, so I hope you join us then.
That's
Next
great.
week, my guest will be artist Ron Sutton, who I had to make sure I had the right last name there for a second. I've known the guy for years, and
I did the
I
same
had to
thing.
think about that.
Yeah.
Ron Sutton is coming in. Ron is known for doing such books as the Elvira book from the mid 90s, the 2000s, and he
awesome.
currently does Carson of Venus strips online. I believe it's on a weekly basis. It goes up. And he does a lot of other stuff that he's going to talk to us about next week. Thank you, everybody, for coming. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.